Good morning. This is a debut video by the Bulbmeister, and I thought since I am working on preparing for winter for my Lycoris, uh, often called spider lily or surprise lily, thought I'd go ahead and share with you what I have learned because don't necessarily want it to be a trade secret. And that is, I figured out how in zone 6, I think they call it zone 7 now, but the temperatures haven't changed, where we can easily get below -5 and we've been down to -20. I figured out how to get the winter foliage Lycoris, those that are mainly for zones 7 through 10, to survive the winter and thrive. So they end up blooming pretty well the next year, and bulbs increase in the ground. So it's been a very helpful, effective way for me to grow most species of Lycoris. I cannot succeed at this with Lycoris aurea, Aurea, because it's still too tender. This might apply to other flower bulb species, but what you have to have is a flower bulb that is hardy itself. The bulb itself, under the ground, no matter what your temperatures are, it will survive the winter. These are hardy underground. What happens is in the winter, without protection, the foliage gets burned, it gets frosted, and foliage dies, and the bulb over the years slowly dwindles away because it has no energy. This has bypassed that. What is this? This is a heavy grade frost cloth, which I got at A.M. Leonard, probably all sorts of places to get it. And I cover my crop uh, after the first, couple of frosts. We're going to have a good freeze come Sunday night, Monday morning, in a couple of days. That will be in the low to mid 20s. Many of these would be able to handle that, but not all of them. And so I treat them all the same to make sure that they don't suffer much damage. Essentially, my conclusion is that what kills the foliage is not the cold. Instead, it's the frost collecting on the foliage, which causes the cell walls to freeze too quickly, and then they burst when they're thawing, and that kills the leaves. So what this frost cloth does, for the most part, is cause the frost to develop on the cloth itself and not on the foliage, at least not on the bulk of the foliage. And so the foliage does much better through our winters, and that might work for you too. It's an investment that I've used this cloth for several years now, and it gets a little tattered, but I mean, I can reuse it, and so I can uh, even save money using this product to protect my plants. So today we will go ahead and just follow some simple examples here, or a simple process here of how I cover these plants. I have 4-foot beds, my 4-foot wide, and my actual plantings are about 3 feet wide. So I just try to get the cloth over the foliage, and then I don't stretch it tight. I try to keep, this is a 6-foot cloth over a 4-foot bed. I try to make it span 4 feet so that there is looseness in there, so that when the foliage is growing, it can push up. I'll show you a picture. I'll probably insert it here, or a quick video of one I've already covered. That's Lycoris radiata var radiata, and it has very nice, strong foliage. It's already up here, and you'll see how the cloth is over it without pushing down on it and forcing it into the ground. Now, Lycoris radiata, var radiata, is I'd say one of the hardier winter foliage plants. This particular selection I have is very tall foliage for the species, and you can see the obvious white. Let's see, come on, I need you to focus. There's the white rib, midrib, very typical.
Please pardon the following interruption for a public service announcement.
The first revolution is when you change your mind about how you look at things.
And what I'm using here is simply concrete fabric, and I have created these originally to be tunnels, but I found you can't do the tunnels with these. Let's say put plastic over them and make a tunnel, because it still gets too cold inside the tunnel without supplemental heat. And when you're out in the field, that's not really a process you can follow efficiently without a great deal of cost. So you can't really use it as a tunnel. But this is excellent for holding the cloth in place even during heavy winds in the wintertime. And the deer, which happen to hang around all the time, for some reason have a better chance of seeing it on top of this white cloth as opposed to just being out there, because they will get hung up in it and get tangled in it. I'll show you something I think you can see from that distance. So in my case, I got a 4-foot bed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares. So if you'd had an 11th and 12th, you would have cut them halfway into the wire, which makes these little pegs. And then all you have to do is poke them in the ground, and it absolutely holds the fabric in place. I'll put an insert of the distance I generally use between cages, because you don't have to have these tunnels right next to each other for it to work.
And see that there might be another way to look at it that you have not been shown. You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. The revolution will not be televised, and be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution will be live.
So I'm just using my boot to gingerly and as evenly as possible poke these prongs into the ground. It's not too important about air tightness, although it will always help if you don't have holes. My fabric is getting older, and a deer hoof goes through a piece of fabric, makes a hole. If there was a Lycoris foliage right in that spot, that particular one might get some damage. So from edge to edge of tunnel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got about 11 paces. If you have enough wire, you can do a little closer. It's always better, because wind will lift this up, which is no big deal, the lifting. But what we want to do is make sure the cloth stays on top of the foliage when the frost comes. It's the frost we're concerned about. So this is how it starts. Take the cloth past where any foliage is, put in my first 5-foot P of rebar, concrete wire. Go 10, 12 paces. I'd say try to keep it to 10. I'm conserving on cage use. You can see there's a little hole here. And there's a little bit of foliage in here. Now I could come in with some tape, like some duct tape. And I've done that so that can be covered. Done that before. And then you end it out here. What I tried to do as I went from one end to the other is pull it on the edges as tight as possible. You want all that extra fabric in the center, but you want the edges to be tight, as taut as possible, so the cloth is not lifted up so much and potentially laying over into the foliage after a strong wind. Well, I want to thank you for watching. I'm not sure how I feel about doing the YouTube videos, but I do know I've always wanted to share how I do things, and that may help other gardeners, other landscapers in taking care of some things. Now, my specialty is Lycoris, and there are a number of species, and obviously there are hybrids, and that's what my focus is. I do grow other flower bulbs and rhizomes and so forth, but that is kind of going in another direction. We'll see how that goes. But if there's something I can share with you, even if it's not relating to flower bulbs, and I think I can put this out and you would be interested, I will share those with you on this new YouTube channel. And hopefully it can be of benefit to you. Always, please leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have questions. And we'll just see how it goes. Thank you for watching.